Helloers and welcome back. I'm excited to talk to you today about what the role of a custodian bank is.
Hi, Jamie. It's my pleasure as well. And the role of the custodian bank is a very important one for us, especially since we, as a registered investment advisor, do not have any banking license.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's an important point. So we are registered with the SEC. We are what we would consider here in Switzerland an independent wealth manager. We are also fully licensed by the Swiss Financial Market Authority, but we are not custodying the assets of our clients. So we are not a counterparty risk, so to speak. How it usually works is we get a limited power of attorney on the bank account that we help the client set up with a private bank in Liechtenstein or in Switzerland.
Yes, and I think it's also important for the client to understand that it even adds a level of safety to their structure because they can replace us as their trusted advisor, which we don't hope ever happens, but they can also replace the bank with our help, and we are also not bound to one custodian bank. So we work with different banks. We are very picky when it comes to with which banks we work, and the sole or the main criteria we have is that the bank should be a place that's focused on creating an environment for the assets of the client to be safe, to be safely held in, and to not use the client's money, equities, whatever investments they have to take on any leverage or stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you pointed out is very important, that the layers are different. So we have some clients that have several banking relationships with us, but the same relationship manager at our team. So even though we are a small company, we have access to quite a few, I would say small to medium and sometimes even large banks. And that really gives the clients a lot of options to choose from. And we can also give independent advice on which bank is the right partner for which situation. Because all the banks we're together with, they are excellent choices, but they have minor nuances and differences in what they really shine at, what they are maybe just mediocre at. So if we get to know the client, we can get a good feeling to make a recommendation. Of course, at the end of the day, it's the client's decision which bank they want to work together with, but we can give some input on where we feel that they would fit in the best.
And one further point is also it's important to understand the banks we are working with, they have a speciality in working with Americans when it comes to custody their assets, but they are not directly licensed or registered with the SEC. And that's where we come in. We are registered with the SEC, as you said, so we are fully regulated. We understand what are the requirements and the expectations from the SEC, from the client towards us. And so we can ensure that everything is compliant as well towards the client and the regulator, while the bank is taking sure that all the trading is being compliant, and also that they get a tax report, which is useful for the CPA to file their taxes. And so that's one further benefit we can provide. And then the last one I want also to bring up is the minimums and the fee structure. Oftentimes, these banks might have like a solution to onboard with them directly, not necessarily for Americans, but for others. But then the minimums are oftentimes much higher. And what we can do, since we take on the relationship and make sure that a lot of the administrative work is taken care of, that we can lower the minimums, and we can also lower the fee structure a client otherwise would face with these banks.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe to summarize, the relationship is sort of a triangle where we have partnership agreements with a selected few banks that we work together with. The client has a direct relationship with the bank because he has to or she has to sign the account opening documents. And then also we have a contract with the client where we get a limited power of attorney. So we can help the client with the account opening setup. We can obtain information on the client's behalf. We can make investment decisions within the bandwidth that we determine with the client, and then we can deduct our management fee, but we cannot do anything beyond that with the bank account.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.